warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself first. My name is Ajeng Rosi Adelia. I come from TBI2 5th semester. So, this time, I'd like to explain you from my understanding about the type of qualitative research based on the book Introduction to Research in Education from Donald Urey, Lucy Chaser Jacobs, and Christine K. Sorensen. So, based on the book Introduction to Research in Education, there are 8 types of qualitative research. They are basic qualitative studies, case studies, content or document analysis, ethnographic studies, grounded theory studies, historical studies, narrative research, and the last is phenomenological research. Basic qualitative studies is also called basic interpretative studies. This type provides rich descriptive account targeted to understanding a phenomenon, a process, or particular point of view from the perspective of those involved. They describe and attempt to interpret experience, and the researcher interested in understanding the meaning of phenomenon has for those involved. The central purpose of the studies is to understand the world or the experience of another. And the underlying question the researcher asks why using this type is how our events, process, and activities are perceived by participants. Basic interpretative studies are somewhat simplistic compared to other qualitative approaches. They are not restricted to a particular phenomenon as in the case studies, and they don't seek to explain social-cultural aspect. The data collection techniques from this type are by interview, observation, review document, and even draw from diverse theoretical orientation. So they don't seek to enter the subject's conceptual world to explain the essence as in phenomenological, and they don't seek to define theory as in grounded theory. And this type don't convey life story through narrative analysis. And these studies are, as the name implies, basic. They describe and attempt to interpret experience. So, they are the most common qualitative studies used in a variety of disciplines, including education. The second type of qualitative research is case study. Case studies are the type that provides an in-depth description of a single unit, which the unit can be an individual, a group, a site, a class, a policy, a program, a process, an institution, or a community. It is a single occurrence of something that the researcher is interested in examination, and the time examination the unit is important. Case studies provide a rich, holistic description of context, issues, and the greatest advantage of case studies is the possibility of depth, which is seek to understand the whole case in the totality of the environment. So not only the present and action of individual, but also his or her past, environment, emotion, and thought can be brought. So it's like the researcher tries to determine why an individual behaves as he or she does and not merely to record behavior. So that's why case study often provide an opportunity for an investigator to develop insight into basic aspects of human behavior. There are 3 types of case studies, and they are intrinsic case study, an instrumental case study, and the multiple are collective case study. The intrinsic study is conducted to understand a particular case that may be unusual, unique, or even different in some way. So it doesn't necessarily represent other cases or a broader threat or problem for investigation. And the second is instrumental case study, which can select the case because it represents some other issues on the investigation and the researcher believes this particular case can help provide insight or help to understanding the issues. And the third is multiple or collective case study, which uses several cases selected to further understand and investigation a phenomenon, population, or general condition. The researcher in this type believes that the phenomenon is not idiosyncratic to a single unit. Studying multiple units can provide better illumination. Meanwhile, the type of design from the case study are for single case holistic, or we can call it is like extreme or unique case. The second is single case embedded. And the third is multiple holistic, or we can call it is like literal or theoretical replication. And the fourth is multiple embedded. And the data collection from case study are by testing, interviewing, observation, review of documents, artifacts, or other methods may be used. And the third type of qualitative research is content analysis. Content analysis focuses on the characteristic of the material and that's why it has its roots in communication studies. Content analysis also uses analysis of writing or visual material, which has the purpose of identifying specific characteristics of material and the mean of material of this type, such as textbooks, newspapers, web page, social network, site, blog, and others. And there are other purposes of content analysis are: the first is to analyze type of errors in the student writings, and the second is to discover the level of difficulty of material in textbook or others, and next to describe prevailing practice, and even to discover the relative importance to our interesting or a certain topic. The advantages from this type is first, can provide valuable is like historical or cultural insight over time through analysis of the text. So it can be used to interpret text for purposes such as development of expert and unobtrusiveness, which has means that the presence of observed doesn't influence what is being observed. So it's like you donate at least the cooperation of subject or get permission to do the study. And another advantage of content is like analysis or document analysis is that they are easily replicated. The fourth type of qualitative research is ethnographic studies. Ethnographic studies has its roots in anthropology or scientific study of humanity, which concern with human behavior, human biology, and societies, and in both the present and past, including past human species. So this type studies the naturally occurring behavior of a group, focuses culture and social behavior, describes beliefs, values, and attitudes of a group. The data collection, they are using a primary data collection tools, and emission in the site is important for this type. The ethnographic studies provide holistic description of context and cultural themes. Ethnographic studies consider why people are situated and how they go about daily activities as well as cultural beliefs. The fifth of qualitative research is grounded theory studies. Grounded theory had its roots in sociology. The goal of it is to inductively build a theory about a practice or phenomenon using interview and observation as the primary data collection tools. Grounded theory studies in education might focus on mainstreaming, mentoring new teachers, integrating minorities in private prep school, classroom discipline, and many others. The grounded research is through the studies describe the context, condition, and phase for a can we call it like blending of influence. A brief look at the sum from the research study can help the reader get a sense of one of the most used approaches to qualitative research is like popular in the nursing, medical, information technology, and business world as well as education. Based on Pace in 2004 state that developed a granted Hillary of the low experience of web users in change in information-seeking activities. So Dr. Ward, after two structured interview with environment of varying gender, age, educational attainment, occupation, and web experience. So explain how user refocus enjoyable activity that is challenging. In the role as the primary data gathering instrument, the researcher asks questions about some event, experience, or social phenomenon. The personal open-ended interview is the primary method of data collection, and the data collection usually results in large amount of handwriting, notes, type interview transcript, or video or audio tape. This process is initiated by coding and categorizing. There are three types of coding, which they are open coding, which deal with the labeling and categorizing phenomenon in the data. And the second is actual coding, which is designed to put data back together that were broken apart in open coding. And the third is elective coding, which show the connection between the discrete categories, and its purpose is to bring the categories together into an overall theory. The sixth types of qualitative research is historical studies. Historical studies are oriented to the past rather than the present, and to use the different collection methods from those used in other qualitative approaches. Historical research is included in qualitative research because of its emphasis on interpretation and its use of non-numeric data. So it attempts to establish facts and arrive at conclusions concerning the past. The historian systematically locates, evaluates, and interprets evidence from which people can learn about the past, and based on the evidence gathered, conclusions are drawn regarding the past so as to increase knowledge of how and why past events occurred and the process by which the past becomes the present. The historian operates on the different handicaps from those of the researchers in other fields. Control of the treatment, measurements, and sampling is limited, and there's no opportunity for replication. Although historians have no choice concerning what documents, relief, records, and artifacts survive the pace of the time, but they don't have some limited control over what questions they will ask of these stories and what measures they will apply to them. The historian classifies material as primary and secondary sources. Primary sources are original document is like there is report, correspondence, relics, remains, or artifacts. Meanwhile, the secondary research, the secondary sources is the mind of non-observer comes between the event and the user of the record. So if a newspaper reporter has been present at the school board meeting, the published report is a primary source. But if the reporter relies on the minutes of the meeting or interview with the participant to prepare the report, so the published report is secondary source. In other hand, there are two ideas that has proved useful in evaluating historical sources are the concept of external criticism and internal criticism. External criticism are evidence under consideration is authentic and depending on the nature of the study. So may involve such techniques as authentication of signatures, chemical analysis of paint, or carbon dating of artifacts. And after the authenticity of piece of evidence has been established, then historical investigator proceeds to internal criticism, which requires evaluating the worth of the evidence. For instance, whether a document provides a true report of an event. So if such a question can best be answered by comparing it with others that true light on an event or provide future information about an event and the people or circumstance surrounding it. The historical research does have limitation, so it could very well ask why it should be attempted. The seventh type of qualitative research is narrative research. Narrative research has its roots in different humanities disciplines and focus on stories which can be spoken or written and can be told by individuals about their life. This type make the researcher emphasize sequence and chronology and collaborative restoring process. Energy can be any text or discourse. Narrative research provides account of human experience by collecting and analyzing stories about lives. So the story are account of event and action chronologically connected. Narrative research also involves from diverse disciplines in the humanities, such as literature, art, film, and others, as well as from disciplines such as psychology and sociology. Narrative studies use document and other sources of personal information to illuminate a person's life. Narrative research is not designed to an historical record, but rather it is designed to understand the perspective of the storyteller in the context of his or her life. Narrative research also has been claimed to be the best qualitative approach for capturing detailed stories of life experiences of either single individuals or small groups. So we have to remember that your own narrative might limit you in conducting research because your own life influence what we heard, what we attempt to, how we interpret things, what thing we might miss, or our potential to ignore things that don't fit our frame or reference or worldview. So the researcher's role is to listen, report, and interpret, but also to recognize his or her own role in the research process. And the eighth type of qualitative research is phenomenological research. Phenomenological research, or we can call a phenomenological study, is designed to describe and interpret an experience by determining the meaning of the experience as perceived by the people who have participated in it. The phenomenological research has its roots in phonology, philosophy, and psychology. So it's like the assumptions is that there are many ways of interpreting the same experience and that the meaning of the experience to each person is what constitutes reality. phenomenology addresses questions about common human experience. In the process of phenomenological research, the researcher must first identify a problem for which, in order to better understand its features or to develop better practices or policies, examination of shared experience is necessary, and the assumption must be specific and examined with a view to breaking out personal experience. Interview data are typically collected from those who have experienced the phenomena, but other data sources may be used, including observation, art, poetry, music, journal, drama, films, and others. And from horizontalization analysis is conducted by identifying significant statements or quotes. And then textual description is used to eliminate what was experienced, and the structural description in this type eliminates the concept that influences the experience. So how it was experienced and in what condition and situation. Then compensating the description is written that convey the overall essence of the phenomenon, and it's also called the essential or invariant structure. So I think that's all my explanation about the qualitative research. Thanks so much for attention, and forgive me if I have many mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.